Even when he was in college, Michael Jordan's defense was underrated. Look here how he rotates down to the passing lane, anticipating where the ball is going to go. It winds up leading to a North Carolina fast break. His tight defense here stopped a fast break dead in its tracks. Jordan's hustle and concentration on defense against number 3 Tulsa was simply fabulous. That energy naturally led to breakaway plays like this. Jordan jumped into the lane here to take the charging foul, causing the offensive player to foul out. Now look at Jordan playing back off his man against Kentucky. That allowed him to make the easy steal when the predictable pass came down. Okay, a lot of this is because of how the game was played in college back in 1981 and 82. I mean, nobody took outside jump shots, teams stuck to these offenses that were relics of the 1950s or before, and the game was really pretty predictable. So because he figured out how to take advantage of what he knew was coming, Michael Jordan was, in my opinion, really the first modern basketball defender. This time, however, Jordan was going to have to step his game up. Number 1 North Carolina was hosting the number 2 Virginia Cavaliers in the biggest game of the season so far. In particular, North Carolina had to figure out what it was going to do to defend 7'4" superstar Ralph Sampson. It's hard to overstate just what a powerful force Sampson was, both on offense and defense. When the two teams met in January 1981, a year earlier, Sampson's defensive presence in particular made a huge difference. Now, the two teams met in the Final Four in late March 1981, and North Carolina was able to keep Sampson quiet that time. The Tar Heels were counting on Sam Perkins to shut down Sampson's offensive attack once again. But as you know, it's kind of hard to stop a guy who's 7'4". Perkins was only 6'9" after all, and Virginia, like North Carolina, was undefeated to this point. This was really a match of heavyweights. However, the big difference in this game was Sampson's ability to hit outside jumpers. Hitting these shots meant that Sampson could draw the defenders outside. And of course, that outside game meant that the inside lanes were open for plays like this. Oh yeah, and it turns out that 7-foot guys can dunk too. There were a number of these. As a result, Virginia actually led for most of this game. Now, those of you who criticize Michael Jordan because of the talent level he played against really need to watch some of these old games. Sure, there were some NCAA players back in 1982 that you can call plumbers, but not Ralph Sampson. This man was legit. Jordan worked on pushing the ball inside right from the start. As usual, he tried to open up chances for his teammates, but Jimmy Black missed here. James Worthy, however, could hit shots like this. But seriously, Virginia had no defensive answer at all for Sampson. And this happened all game long. And sometimes the mere presence of Sampson caused crazy things to happen. Perkins had a quiet game, largely because of Sampson's defensive presence. And there were bizarre mistakes like this as well. Jordan made a rookie mistake here, getting called for offensive goaltending after touching the ball while it was still on the rim. When halftime rolled around, Virginia was up by 4. This honestly felt like a game that North Carolina was going to lose. Sampson was intimidating on defense, and they simply couldn't stop him on offense. It looked like reality had finally caught up with this North Carolina team. Michael Jordan managed to get free for this backdoor dunk early in the second half. But there was still no way to stop Sampson. Jordan had that nice outside shot, however. And Perkins came through for North Carolina every once in a while. Tell me, do you think this is a foul on Jordan? Looks like a bad call to me. And should this have been goaltending? And then Sampson fanned on this dunk. This really is an incredible sight. Jordan took over the game at this point. Virginia was up by 8 after this ridiculous shot by Othell Wilson. However, Jordan kept fighting. North Carolina needed Jordan's skill too, with Perkins having such a quiet game. And that's when it happened. This was one of those magical Michael Jordan defensive plays. He managed to make it back to the other end in time for the shot. Even when he missed free throws, Jordan was always hustling for the board. And this time Jordan took it in Sampson's face. Well, that's the sort of competitor that Michael Jordan was. He would take on the best player on the other team, and he would shove it right in his face, even when he was a freshman. But then things went south as Jimmy Black fouled out on a silly foul. And look at Ricky Stokes steal the ball away from James Worthy. But then Jordan had a steal of his own. And check out this amazing fake and assist by Michael Jordan. Sampson kept Virginia on top by 6 with this shot. But then Othell Wilson started making ridiculous decisions. North Carolina kept crawling back. And this game was becoming really intense. Yeah, that play reminds me of playing pickup games over at the church. You gotta sacrifice that body. Well, this turned into a game of free throws. James Worthy made his. Then it was Sampson's turn to be fouled. Sampson missed the first. And then he missed the second. That led to this huge turnaround jumper by James Worthy, putting North Carolina up. But then Virginia beat North Carolina's cramped zone defense, finding Sampson anyway. Now remember how I said Michael Jordan took this game over? Jordan doesn't miss these free throws. This one made it 57-56 North Carolina. Then Sampson beat a man-to-man defense with a big dunk. I'm telling you guys, Ralph Sampson was simply unstoppable back then. It reminds me of a young Shaq, but with an outside shot. Sam Perkins hit 2 clutch free throws to give North Carolina the lead again. And then finally that zone defense worked and Jordan got the rebound. Jordan's defense almost caused a turnover here. Sampson got it inside but fell apart and lost the ball. And then this one turned into a free throw battle. With less than 10 seconds left, Virginia came to within 3. But then James Worthy threw this ridiculous pass to Perkins and that ended it. North Carolina won this one 65-60. It was a legendary comeback. It was a game for the ages. And Michael Jordan wound up with 16 points, 2 key assists, 7 strong rebounds, and in my opinion was clearly the player of the game. Well, that was by far the best game that we've seen up to this point. Surely it can only get better from here, right?